All right. Well, hello, G, Helen, Selma. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Okay. You guys already know, but my name's Meredith Nye, and I'm doing this informative speech for my communications course. And the purpose is to show how to perform a task. And I chose to detail the steps needed to create a mind palace. And you may ask, what is a mind palace? And it's actually a memory technique, and it's used to increase your ability to memorize long lists of items, facts, ideas, anything that you'd like to know. An online organization called Remember Everything describes the Mind Palace as a visual filing system. It allows you to memorize and recall a virtually unlimited number of items in a fixed order. Each location in the Mind Palace serves as a hook to which you visually connect whatever you want to remember. The Mind Palace is actually a very old technique. It goes back a long time ago to the Greeks and Romans. 2,000 years ago, it was referred to as the method of Loki. Greek orators, which are Greek people that gave big speeches, they used this technique because paper was really, really expensive. So in order to not use so much paper, they used just memorizing their different points in their speech. In a video detailing the origins of the Mind Palace on the Practical Psychology channel, it's explained that Loki is a Latin word for places. And in fact, when we say in the first place or in the second place, we're actually referring to the method of Loki. Another place that you may have heard the Mind Palace from is Sherlock Holmes. When he is portrayed in films and books, he uses this technique. Now that you know what a mind palace is, how do you go about creating it and using it? The first thing you need to do is to choose your location. In my example, I chose my dorm room, which you can see here. I chose my dorm room and I actually took a picture just to show you. You want to choose somewhere that you're very, very familiar with. It can be your house, a street. As stated in an article from an organization called Memorize, a common objection to the Mind Palace is that you have to memorize a map of your home, and that's so much work, but that's not true. You actually already have your house memorized. You've been there so much that you know it visually in your head already. This place could be anywhere that you're super, super familiar with, so it doesn't have to be your house. The second thing you need to do is establish unique objects or places around that room. In my example, I chose my roommate's desk, I chose the refrigerator, my bed, a bookshelf, and the window. Darren Brown, a well-known mentalist, describes these images that you're assigning to the locations in your mind palace as bizarre images, because it's important to make those images really bizarre and crazy and bizarre as in like you're assigning different sensories to these memories that you're placing at these locations so that you remember them better. So in my example, for the first place, to remember that you are mowing a lawn, you imagine yourself flying behind an out of control lawnmower at the place number one. If I wanted to remember that I needed to go to the grocery, you can imagine happy apples coming out of the refrigerator. For the place 3, you can imagine dogs rolling around on my bed to indicate that I need to take the dogs out for a walk. At place number 4, a bunch of papers flying everywhere can remind me that I need to do my homework. And 5, a basketball flying through the window could remind me that I need to go to basketball practice. After you have assigned these bizarre images to every location, to conclude, to recall the tasks, you simply walk back through your mind palace and visit the same locations as before, according to your numbers. And you should be able to visualize the sensory loaded cue that you placed there and remember what you needed to do. These are my sources, which you guys do not need to care about. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys have a great rest of the night. Hopefully that didn't go too terribly. Honestly, considering I waited to the last moment to do this assignment, um, I don't want to do it again. So thanks for being my audience members. You guys can go to bed now.
Perfect.
Good
Perfect
job.
job, Mayor.
Good job, Mary.
I did my best. I know this is the worst class. All right, let me just.
All pictures and illustration were my own.
You said you had to like cite our images and stuff, and I was like, I was like, I did my own stuff, so